stalking her like?
That poor girl, Lace, she was a druggie. And she was into the really bad stuff.
The Red Soul has the power to amplify the unique characteristics we all possess. Mentally and physically. That's why I created the holy red powder.
You okay? Hey. We're fine. Just feeling a little tired. Would you take us to get our medicine?
Sure. It's in the bathroom, right? Whew. Seems like he's calmed down a little. We should let him rest for a while.
One more step and I could have cornered Morgan. But so be it. I can still keep investigating even if the owner of this chair isn't present. Simon Jones, what a piece of work. How can anyone have such bad timing?
Let me get one thing straight. You started this investigation based on an anonymous tip, right? What kind of a tip was it? Phone or mail?
What does that matter at this point?
This may surprise you, but these kinds of details really eat me up inside. I always get hung up on the most insignificant of details, especially during the most vital times. For example, you know how people go to bed early the night before they have a big job? That's exactly the time where I start focusing on meaningless nonsense. When did I last clip my nails? How long is my milk good for? I just can't help myself. I can't resist the need to know. It's just the way I am.
It was sent in an envelope. Postmarked December 28th, sent out from Louisiana.
What did it have inside?
A postcard with a dragonfly on it, a wrapped sample of Sang Rouge, and a note.
What did it say?
Investigate the Clarksons. F.K.
That's it?
Yes, that's it.
Who's FK?
Anonymous tip, remember? It's obviously just a fake name.
Did you confirm that?
Of course I did. Louisiana has a population of 4.5 million. The FBI database has a list of 6,682 individuals whose initials are FK. 1 out of every 6 individuals is a child under the age of 14, born after 2005. The remaining 5,500 people include those whose initials changed after they married or incarcerated individuals. After subtracting those, I was left with 3,800. That's when I stopped searching for FK, and I decided to change up my approach. It isn't important where the tip came from. All that matters is solving the case. I got this far by taking the most efficient route possible. Are you satisfied now?
Yeah. Thanks. I feel a lot better now. Yep, it all checks out.
Shouldn't you look after him?
I gave him his meds and let him rest.
Let him rest where?
In the bathtub. It happened to have a blanket and a pillow in it.
What? But what?
I don't know. Maybe. I feel like I saw that once in some vampire movie.
I don't know what you're talking about. More importantly, how long has he been like that?
It's stage 4 cancer. He's had it for a while now.
No. I'm talking about his face. It looks as white as a sheet. You can even see all his veins. I've never heard of any cancer side effect like that.
Who knows? But now that you mention it, he started going really crazy around the beginning of December.
In what way?
He changed pizza places.
This better not be another joke.
It's not, really. It's not. Before December, he always used to order delivery from a Chicago-style joint all the way up near Medford. But one day, he took one look at one of their trademarked red boxes and totally...
Red, huh?
You better believe he started screaming gibberish at the... Next thing I know...
Do you think that's when his fear of red?
Beats me. There isn't a better Chicago-style pizza place that delivers around this area. How could someone give up on that just because they don't like the box?
Were you serious for even a fraction of that story? The letter that was delivered to me bore the Clarkson symbol. A postcard decorated with a dragonfly, the mark of the Clarkson family. A single sheet of paper ordering me to investigate the Clarkson, and...
So, why did...
Because it's my job.
Really? I don't buy it.
Why not?
You aren't just following orders here. You've got way too much emotion invested in this. Some kind of... There's no use trying to hide it. Despite how I may look, data analysis is my forte. I know how to see through lies. I don't mean to be nosy, but would it kill you to confide in me a little? I didn't manage to live this long simply because I'm fiendishly handsome. And besides, we're going to be tiptoeing across a thin line of legality with the rest of this case, so I'd prefer to have some probable cause. That way, at least I can back you up when you need me to.
There exists in the world a single path along which no one can go except you. Whither does it lead? Do not ask, go along it.
You're pulling out Nietzsche at a time like this? Come on!
I have a little brother. After overdosing on a certain drug, he was thrown into rehab. He's been clean for 2 years now, but he still won't. All day long, he can't tell if this is reality.
Sang Rouge.
That's right. The doctor can't tell what's causing his. He just told me to prepare for the possibility that this was his. I bought it for him after he graduated high school and found a job. He never got a single chance. Someday, I believe that he'll get better. And I'll get to see him put this on and head out to work.
So you think that if we nab the person...
Right.
You really think it'll be that?
I don't know. But I can't just sit around and do nothing.
What about your parents?
When I was only 13, leaving my 7-year-old brother and I behind.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm just working as hard as I can to complete the duty I've been... Hey, Agent, I just want to double-check one thing.
Nope.
It must be the bedroom then. Just like I thought.
Are you serious?
Huh? Now...
Well, not exactly.
Then what?
I understand, but he's got an and he used to be...
So? The truth he's given us so far could all... He's a genius lone wolf agent who solved nothing but difficult cases. That's what they told me at Quantico, at least. Over and over again. I had to listen to them, but... Let's be real here. It looked like the face of a killer who... Patricia Clarkson is here, in the next room. After 14 years, he went back. He's trying to complete something big, something that's deeply... What is all this?
Oh.
Pictures of people from Le Carré. And this wall is dedicated to Greenvale. All the deceased have been... Sheriff Melvin Woods? Lise Clarkson? Where's Patricia?
That's our altar. What are you doing?
York! Agent York! York! Agent York! York! Agent York! Hey! Agent York! Agent York? Hey! Hey, Agent York.
You're Lise Clarkson.
What's wrong? You're acting weird.
Sorry, Patty, I'm fine now. More importantly, do these red seeds come from some kind of plant that grows around this area?
I don't know. What do I look like, a botanist?
This isn't your average backwoods town. The Clarksons' ego and control has been piercing the town's heart like a massive dinosaur bone. But over this past century, time has been busy eroding the beast's power from within. And now, the very thing that once fortified this town is polluting it with putrid gas and rotten marrow. Zach, this is the point where it all collapses. After Lise Clarkson was murdered, her body was put back together here, just like how Galena's body was dismembered, then rearranged within the holding cell. Lena Doman and PJ's bodies were also blown to pieces in the end. Perhaps that's the nature of the curse that's taken hold of the Clarksons. What do you think, Zach? Is there any significance to these similarities? This altar is covered in burnt, but there's hardly any residue. There's no way for me to tell what was burned here. I could send it home for analysis, but it'll just end up giving Abrahams more busy work. More importantly, Zach, Someone who knew how to manipulate fire was behind all this. In other words, these roots prove that Lena was here. And that's enough for me. Zach, this is an ominous sign. Among all the different footprints here are a set made from engineer boots. Yes, I know. He probably only made them when he came to inspect the scene. I'm sure that Patty and I left our own set of prints here too. But how do you explain the set that's inside the yellow tape? There's some decomposing cloth here. We saw the same type of cloth at the sugarcane plantation. They must have used that cloth when they transported Lisa's body. But who cares about mundane? This isn't a case that can be solved by gathering the kind of evidence we'd need to submit to a court. These red seeds keep sticking out to me. But we need to figure out what's going on with this altar before we focus on anything else. Isn't that right, Zach? There's a flat, evenly weighted stone here. I bet we could use this to score an amazing stone skipping record. Let's give it a try whenever we get some downtime. For now, we need to focus. The growth is all missing from this particular section. It wasn't just cutaway. She used fire to burn it out. Everything was planned so meticulously. That's why Chuck ended up discovering it.
Hey! FBI! You already solved the case, yeah? So go on! Shoot! Exactly how stupid are you, FBI? Every feller in town already knows.
Hey, Chuck. Can you see the altar from there?
I'd see the whole damn thing, along with your stupid ass standing.
You told me that the poacher's boat you were chasing disappeared around this area, correct?
Yeah, that's what I said already. If you're just gonna waste our tax dollars out here, least you fucking FBI, go and make your—
Chuck, we don't chase down fishing unless it's a terrorist boat that plans to overthrow our government, that is.
Huh. Then stop acting all leery, like I ain't being truth. I'm busy too.
Zach, he just taught us what the true It was built here so that the ritual could be watched from a boat in the bayou.
What do you mean? They could have just walked out here.
The goddess of fertility, Patty.
The goddess of fertility. So much blood has been shed. Surely, you know why.
Of course I do, Hungan. My work here isn't finished yet. You know, I could really use one of your oracles right now.
You're more fun than— Here's the oracle you ask for. Speak to the 17 comrades who saw the birth of New Orleans. Feel the holy Allah. The giant lady's finger points down toward your goal, the entrance to the forbidden.
Poetic and graceful as... Hungan's oracles are leading us toward the core of this case. That's the one thing But don't misunderstand, Zach. I'm not blindly following him. I only follow my intuition. Metaphysical offender profiling. That's all there is to it. The 17 comrades must refer to some area that has 17 of the same thing in it. We may need to use history to figure this one out. After all, we need to find someone or something that saw the birth of New Orleans. And we can't just round up every last old person in town. Somewhere, there are 17 comrades who've survived. That's not it, Zach. The 17 comrades must have survived. Remember, they were here to see the... And we can't just round up every last old person in town. Somewhere, there are 17 comrades who've survived for a very long time. That's it, Zach. The French established the colony of La Nouvelle-Orléans in 1718. Just about 300 years ago, the only 17 comrades that would have been around back then are the 300-year-old oak trees along this road. A majestic road lined by oak trees. Come on, let's go ask these sages of Lucare for... Zach, the Holy Allah is a shockingly simple metaphor, especially considering the quality of the oracle. It seems as if Hungan's poetic muse... The great thing about us Americans is that we can recreate our homeland anywhere. We're happy to transport crunchy bacon across the deserts of Africa if we need to. That's what it means to be American, and this Holy Allah is just another example of that. From the early days of the frontier era, they've been helping us Americans be what we've always meant to be. Hey Zach, if the Holy Allah needs to be filled, things must be dire. Imagine what would happen if the Holy Allah were to run dry. The townspeople would instantly face multiple serious problems. They'd lose... That's it. I never doubted you, Zach. The Holy Allah refers to a water tower. Specifically that water tower. It must be hiding some... Let's fill the Allah and see what it yields. Zach, what do you think the giant ladies... I'm at a loss. I never thought one of Hungan's childish riddles would... But, oh well, I'm sure that as we deal with the rest of the...
What?
Listen carefully, Patricia. So I want you to answer me honestly.
Answer what?
Do you have any idea where Melvin might have gone?
No.
He didn't seem to be acting or talking...
No.
Okay. Zach, we have a lot of work to do. It feels like we're finally approaching the climax here. Zach, do you sense that? These trees have watched over this land for the past 300 years. Long before the Clarksons built up their town, these trees were here. If they could speak, I wonder... Has there always been a different number of trees on each side?
Yeah. I heard that by the time our town came along, there were only 17 left. A general from the South might have cut one down during the Civil War.
Intriguing, Patty. Why did he cut one down?
I don't know. Folks say he planted a red tree in its place. I don't know if that's true or not, though.
Zach, the shape of these seeds. Patty, it appears that legend about the red tree wasn't a total. The first tree is withered and gone, but the shells from perhaps that red tree left some descendants somewhere else. Zach, he seems to know. Doesn't it seem like he's trying to...
What?
Change of plans, Patty. Let's go on a little stroll with that Dalmatian. Is this the red tree that General planted?
No way! This is a maple tree.
A maple tree? Then it shouldn't be red at this time of year.
You're right. That's strange. A long time ago, my mama and daddy used to come here together a lot. They told me they used to go on dates here, back before I was born. Mama would make sandwiches, then they'd come here and eat 'em together. My mama was really pretty, you know. When I was a kid, I believed she was a real goddess. Under the boughs of a legendary tree that stayed red all year long, a small miracle was born. One man managed to win the heart of the most beautiful girl in the world, and they call him Melvin Woods.
Looks like it's time to move on. What a fantastic guide we managed to find. He actually waited for us to finish talking before taking us on to the next spot. Hey, Patty. How would you rate this creation?
Not bad, I reckon. They made good use of its natural form while also pulling out the soul from within. The artificial color also looks pretty. You don't usually see this level of harmony. Something unnatural always ends up getting left behind.
Zach, did you catch all that? She sounded just like the curator of an art gallery in New York. I think we may have just uncovered a new side of her. But unfortunately, I can't see anything artistic about it. Honestly, it looks insane to me. That's all I get from it. And there's no way that this is a descendant of the tree that the general planted. Zach, now this is interesting. It looks like a tree that you could find anywhere, yet it's also unlike any other, completely alien. And look how it's weaved its way into the landscape. Almost like cancer cells invading a human body. You might not even notice it unless you're focused on finding it. And this feeling. As I gaze upon this tree, I can feel evil emotions rising out from within me. Why on earth did that Southern general bring this tree into this town? I promise to protect you from all the evil in our world. Do not touch this tree. Got that, Patty?
Got it, Agent York.
We successfully spoke with I feel like they showed us a side of nature that transcends. Next up is the whole. According to the Oracle, the Holy Awe. We may be due for another childish puzzle, but that's okay. After all, we came all. Why not enjoy playing by their rules? We've been in this town for longer than we originally planned, haven't we? Oh no, I'm not complaining. I'm used to living at a hotel, and I love Southern food. There are some inconveniences, though. There's no movie theater in this town, nor is there a video rental store, and the TV in the hotel room doesn't get any of the on-demand movie channel. Lena Doman, aka Professor R. How could such an intelligent person like her suffer such a tragic downfall? Does the South really corrupt people like Patty said? This sunlight certainly seems capable of breaking someone down. No matter how you try to resist it, it's so hot it feels like I'm burning up, but that doesn't explain it. Perhaps we really do need to focus on the Clarkson bloodline itself. Everything in this town, whether it's visible or invisible,
This thing sure looks tall when you look at it up close. But why do they gotta build it up so high anyway?
the height gives them the necessary pressure to pump the water out. Also, building it in a spot where anyone could easily access it would only create more problems.
Problems?
In a certain Missouri town, they built the water tower low enough that a person could easily climb up to it. and that's exactly where a mass murderer decided to hide the bodies of all his victims. The water tower was so low to the ground that he could even climb up to it while carrying a dead body on his back. Incidentally, they ended up finding a total of 43 bodies in there. But the part that truly shocked Zach and I wasn't the number of bodies, Patty.
What?
It was the fact that over the 6 months from the first murder to when the case was solved, that whole time, the townspeople had been drinking the water.
Agent York! Look! I think we can climb up from there. Let's go.
But Patty, I was just getting to the good part.
So this is our town. Looking down on it from here, it's hard to imagine any bad stuff ever happened at all.
Listen carefully, Patricia. You just leave Melvin to me. I promise I'll take care of things. You're grown up. You're more of an adult than anyone else in this town, I guarantee it. But that doesn't mean you have to suffer through everything without ever saying a word about it. Just remember that, okay? Zach, it looks like the holy Allah hasn't been sucking up water properly. No wonder the shower in our hotel room felt so weak. Patty, who manages this water tower?
This is Lucare. You should know the answer to that by now.
The Clarksons. Judging from their current situation, I don't think they'll be able to give us a timely response.
Yeah.
Do you know where the water comes from?
Probably Isaac Lake?
That settles it. Let's fill the holy Allah and solve this problem ourselves.
I knew you were gonna say that, Agent York.
Why do you think the Clarksons chose a dragonfly for their family crest? In some European countries, dragonflies are called devil's needles, and folklore suggests that they fly around, sewing up the mouths of children who don't do as they're told. In Japan, some samurai helmets are also shaped like dragonflies. There, dragonflies are seen as beneficial insects who march valiantly ahead, preying on the pests that devour crops. Isaac Lake?
That's the name of the former head of the Clarkson family. When he retired, they built this lake to... That's why it's called
They wanted people to remember the power of the Clarkson family.
You sure don't miss a beat.
The water level's higher than I expected. They probably haven't been out here to check on it since Lise was murdered.
I bet that's where the water gets sucked up into the water tower.
Mr. Alligator. Never thought I'd have to use you to fight a real alligator. Just what does that skeletal gentleman have in mind for us, Zack? Open the door, Patty! Now, Patty! Okay, Zack, let's head back to the Holy Allah. We need to confirm with our own eyes that we've completed. Hey, Zack, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the San Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand, and Lady Luck's given us far more favor than she ever has before. We just happened to hear news about Lisa's murder while sitting in a bar during our vacation in New Orleans. That certainly wouldn't have happened if we had stayed in D.C. They would have given the case to another special agent, or maybe even to... Do you think Patty's okay? She acts strong, but it seemed like she was deeply distraught. Where did Melvin disappear to? The same goes for her mother, Candy. We never even got a chance to meet her mother. Did they get swallowed up into the Clarkson's vortex as well? We need to hurry, Zack. As of now, Patty could be in danger. Can't stop moving until we find the source to all this chaos. This is the Deep South. I feel it every time that molten hot sun pours down on me. Don't you, Zach? Hey, Zach, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand, and Lady Luck's given us far more favor than she ever has before. We just happened to hear news about Lisa's murder while sitting in a bar during our vacation in New Orleans. That certainly wouldn't have happened if we had stayed in D.C. They would have given the case to another special agent, or maybe even to the state, and then we never would have found it. In the end,